Maybe a son? Yeah. One of the parents wanted to
My wife is there, and I'll be a jury as well.
All right. You guys all have a seat? And I'll be sitting behind.
My wife and I are the same jury. I'm sure that we have different
I'll just sit here. Yishai, one second. Yishai, send it down.
Oh, now you're gonna, okay, I see.
I feel like I messed up so bad. Right to I have like these words so that I know I can read them. You like my target type?
All right. Hear ye. We're here on the state of Florida versus Logan Bartram. Case number blah, 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 blah. The Honorable Andrew Hague presiding.
Let me just say a couple of things first. First, I'd like to thank you for the privilege of being here today. Do not get nervous. This is not, nobody's going to jail or anything else. So do your very best, have fun with it. You've worked hard on this, I'm sure, and do the very best you can. And in real trials, when people have been working at it for 6 months, sometimes they fall all over themselves. It just happens. The question is how you recover from that and keep on going, okay? So, that being said, is the state ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and who is representing the state? What's your name, please?
Akiva, Muller.
Akiva Muller. And who is your co-counsel?
Joshua Benjamin, Ben Lelinger, Moshe Cattan, Yoed Rivera, Yeshua Milman, and Yossi Friedman.
That's not a team trial team, that's an army. I'm not going to write them all down because there's so many of them. Is the defense ready?
Yes, sir.
And who is representing the defendant?
Yishai, Weiss, me. Goldberg, Ungar, Rubin, Reines, Yitzy and Menachem.
Very well, thank you. And you're ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As this is a criminal case, it is the state's burden to go first. We will assume that all witnesses have sworn or affirmed to tell the truth. So we will not go through that procedure when a witness is called. State, you may begin. We'll start with opening statements. You may give your opening statement.
Your Honor, members of the jury, good afternoon. My name is Akiva Muller. This case deals with betrayal and what transpired between Jordan Stowe and the defendant, Logan Bartram. You will learn today how a close friendship was broken and destroyed when the defendant, Logan Bartram, who could not control his anger and betrayed his friend. As a result of Logan's willful, malicious, and repeated unlawful conduct directed at the victim, Jordan Stowe, Logan Bartram had been charged with the criminal offenses of cyberstalking in violation of Florida statute, section 784.048, and photo cyber harassment, violation of Florida statute, section 784.0489. While the judge will instruct you in detail on the elements of each of these crimes, we submit to you that the testimony and evidence you will be asked to consider today will show beyond a reasonable doubt. Number one, the defendant, Logan Bartram, cyberstalked Jordan Stowe. Number two, the defendant, Logan Bartram, photo cyber harassed Jordan Stowe in violation of Florida statute section 784.0489 by having posed photos of Jordan Stowe with intent to cause Jordan substantial emotional distress. In this case, the testimony you will hear is that on March 26, 2014, Logan Bartram posted malicious pictures of Jordan Stowe on faceplace.com. This was an attempt to harm Jordan. The defendant tried to ruin Jordan Stowe's track team record by posting pictures of Jordan in compromising positions. You'll hear testimony of how those pictures were to remain private and not posted on social media or disseminated to the public. You will hear further testimony today of how the defendant tried to ruin Jordan's emotional state by writing malicious lyrics about Jordan. You will hear Jordan explain to you today of how the defendant's cyber-stalking acts got so cruel that Jordan needed to obtain a protective order for his own safety. Members of the jury, today we will hear the unfortunate tale of two such close friends that were torn apart. The prosecution will show that Jordan befriended the defendant as each entered high school, became great friends, of how over the course of their friendship, the defendant became extremely jealous whenever Jordan would hang out with other friends. You will hear today of how the defendant was unable to accept the fact that Jordan was no longer his closest friend, and you, the manner in which the defendant, Logan Bartram, cyberstalked and cyber-harassed his one-time friend in a complete act of betrayal. Today, the prosecution will call 3 witnesses to the stand. First, you will hear from the victim, Jordan Stowe. Jordan is a student who has succeeded with great track team records and very high grades. He will explain the development of his friendship with the defendant, the defendant's changing behavior as Jordan befriended others and became more popular, of the photos the defendant took of Jordan at a party and at the mascot of a rival school, of the intent, private use of those photos. Jordan will speak as to the lyrics the defendant wrote and the nature of those lyrics. Evidence will show how Jordan was repeatedly threatened by those lyrics, even after he obtained a protective order. And Jordan will testify as to impact the defendant's decision to post those photos. Next, we will call Alex Miller to the stand. Alex was the captain of the track team. Alex and Jordan became friends through track, and Alex will testify as his own friendship with Jordan was destroyed. Lastly, you will hear from Sunshine High School psychologist Dr. Taylor Kelly, who will testify as to the impact cyberstalking and cyber harassment have on valuable youth and students throughout the country. Dr. Kelly will testify of how he attempted to help both Jordan and the defendant, of his attempts to involve the defendant's music teacher in helping guide the defendant in a more positive fashion. Jordan was hurt by cyberstalking and photo harassment crimes have had on Jordan, a once popular student and a student body leader who has been harassed into states of anxiety and sadness. Members of the jury, cyberstalking and photo cyber harassment are serious offenses. At the conclusion of the case and evidence, we will ask that you return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. For the defense.
Good afternoon. May it please the court, Your Honor, and members of the jury. We represent the defendant, Logan Bartram, a high school student, a gifted musician, an honorable son who has, in life, suffered from a significant tragedy and is now charged with 2 crimes for which we will ask you at the end of this case to find you not guilty. While the state has just told you that this is a case of betrayal of a friendship, it is really a case about responsibility and the failure of the individual, Jordan Stowe, to take responsibility for his actions and to instead blame the repercussion of his action upon his one-time friend, Logan Bartram. The state has brought 2 charges against Logan. Those charges are cyberstalking and photo cyber harassment. While the judge will explain in detail what the elements are necessary for the state to establish his case, we ask that you keep in mind throughout this trial that the burden of proof falls upon the prosecution to prove beyond and to the exclusion of reasonable doubt. This means, what that means is that after considering all the evidence, any of you, as a member of the jury, have any reasonable doubt as to whether the state proved each and every element of the crime, you must find Logan not guilty. Let me explain that in another way. Imagine you are flying on an Airbus A380. You have traveled for several hours and sensitive so much time to plane to land at your destination. You then hear the pilot say over the speaker, "We are having some technical difficulties. I think I can learn the numbers." One might be scared because the pilot only thinks it's a good thing. Now imagine if the pilot said, "I'm 82% sure I can land the plane." One might imagine, why did the pilot believe that there's an 80% chance he won't make it? One would want to know all the facts, and after considering those facts, have a much better assurance, removing all reasonable doubt about whether the plane will land safely. Today, Logan's future and ultimately his life is on the line. If after considering all of the evidence presented to you today, you have any reasonable doubt as to whether the state has landed its plane, which is to establish each and every element of this charge against Logan beyond and to the exclusion of any reasonable doubt, then it is your duty to find him, and you must find him not guilty. Now let me review with you why we ask that you return a verdict of not guilty. You will hear testimony today that our client, Logan Bartram, went to high school at Sunshine High School. Logan was raised by his mother. He lost his father when he was a young boy because his father committed suicide. Logan found an interior strength to move forward with his life. He was a good student and he loved music. Indeed, you will hear testimony that Logan writes music and is a gifted musician. And you will hear testimony that to help his mother, in addition to going to school, Logan got a job to contribute to household expenses. On the first day of school, after Logan and his mother moved to this community, Logan met Jordan Stowe. They immediately became friends, and their friendship grew and it became best friends. Indeed, they did everything together. Their friendship grew so much that Jordan even gave Logan the musical instrument for his birthday. In their junior year, they tried out and made it onto the track team. But all was not easy for Logan. He can be a bit reserved, and he was very protective of his mother, who likely suffered the loss of his father. Her husband was suicide. A suicide that was not the fault of his mother and not the fault of his Logan. Just a deep tragedy separated. Logan being quiet was sometimes the subject of taunts by the other students. You will hear evidence that the captain of the track team, Alex Miller, didn't like Logan. Indeed, he thinks Logan is cringe. And rather than being a true leader, Alex instead taunted Logan and told Logan, "Your mother is as stiff as you. It's no wonder why she's sick." The state has told you that Logan hit Alex after hearing his words. With your testimony that Logan acted out of pure love for his mother when he pushed Alex. This is a statement that no child or a single parent whose other parent committed suicide ever deserves or wants to hear. And Logan later apologized for the incident. The state wants you to take from this incident that Logan is violent and assume from that act that he is somehow guilty today of cyber stalking and photo cyber harassment. But that is not the truth, and Logan is not on trial for once punching Alex. You will hear that Alex held a party for all new members of the track team. Alex invited Jordan, and even though Logan was not also a team member, Alex didn't invite him. Logan was inclined not to go, but at Jordan's urging, Logan did. At the party, Logan and Jordan noticed that alcohol was being served. Logan didn't, instead having fun with Jordan and trying out his first one. Jordan posed for pictures, lifting a cup with alcohol. After the party at Alex's birthday, Alex, Jordan, and a few other track team members decided to visit Friedman High School, which was the rival to Sunshine High, where Logan, Jordan, Hale, and others attended. Logan didn't want to go and had to leave early, but at Jordan's birthday, he did. While there, Jordan, Alex, and the others posed for pictures while the Hurricane High School mascot, Twister, which is a sculpture of an alligator, and Logan left while Jordan decided to stay with Alex. The next morning, the newspaper reported that Hurricane High mascot, Twister, was found to be dead. Jordan and Alex talked, and you hear that Jordan was very concerned about having been with Twister the night before. The school officials interviewed Jordan and others about the incident, and none disclosed that they had been at risk. Jordan asked Logan not to post the pictures, and he did not. After summer and a new school year started, Jordan distanced himself from Logan. Jordan became very popular and no longer made room in his life for Logan. Jordan became the school president and the track team captain and modeled himself after Alex. left Logan on the side of the road. Logan was hurt, and as a positive outlet, Logan focused on his music and the creative outlet that music provides. He also turned to a new emerging musician, such as Queen, inspiration for his songwriting. From time to time, Logan posted his music on his social media site, Facebook. And to draw attention to his music, he would at times, like all high school students, post pictures. One night the next year, long after hours had graduated, reflecting on the good times, Logan posted a picture of his smartphone onto his Facebook page and wrote he wrote after his included in those pictures were those of Jordan with alcohol and Jordan at the track team members at Lisbon. Reviewer Logan testified that he accidentally uploaded all of the pictures in his phone and that he didn't even know. Jordan got into trouble. The principal removed him as student body president because Sunshine High School has a zero tolerance policy when it comes to alcohol, and he was suspended from the track. He was no longer the cool, popular one, and lashed out at Logan as the source of his problem. Rather than taking responsibility for being at this school, blamed Logan that jumped to unfounded and unreasonable conclusions that Logan was trying to destroy. You will likely hear Jordan testify that he feels threatened by Logan's lyrics, and that he thinks they are about him. In fact, Jordan went so far as to obtain a restraining order against Logan. But when you see the lyrics, you will not find Jordan's name, or the name of any other student, and you will see no evidence that Jordan ever asked Logan about the lyrics. Instead, simply jump to a conclusion that they are directed at him, and that is not allowed to be. We'll hear today from Frankie Tanner, Logan's music teacher. He will tell you that Logan is a skilled musician and a passionate person. He will tell you that musicians have all kinds of influences as they express their emotions. Not every song is about another person, but Jordan and his state jumped to the conclusion that they were, and went so far as to charge Logan with the crimes of sabotaging and photo-sabotaging harassment. We will hear today that Logan had absolutely no intention of ruining Jordan's reputation or hurting Jordan in any way. Logan did not post these pictures with malicious intent, but simply looking back at last year. He will tell you that Queen Bee was an influence for music, which, while changed in tone, is not about Jordan or anyone else. Members of the jury, the evidence you will hear today will show that when our client, Logan Barker, posted these pictures of Larry Michael's face, he had no intention of causing substantial emotional distress to Jordan's life. Furthermore, the evidence will show that Logan did not aim or direct his song sexual instead. Rather, you will learn today that Logan has a great passion for music, and there are many different styles and genres. Nobody ever had a problem with Logan's lyrics, or Jordan lashing out at Logan for Jordan's own decisions, for which Jordan failed to take responsibility, censored himself. At the conclusion of the evidence, we will ask the return of verdict of not guilty on all charges.
Thank you. State and may call your first witness.
I'd like to call Jordan Stokes with Smith.
Assume that they have been sworn in front of you. May proceed.
Please say your name for the record.
Jordan Stokes.
How old are you, Jordan?
7.
Are you currently attending school?
Yes, I'm in Sunshine High School.
Do you know the defendant, Logan Bartram? How do you know Logan?
We met by the school orientation and we was sitting next to me in the first class.
You two become close friends?
Yes.
How close did you become?
We joined the track team together and got along.
Did he play any music at all?
Yes, we played guitar and in fact I saved up my allowance to purchase the guitar.
How was your track team experience?
It was when we were there for each other by lawsuits.
How was the relationship you and Logan had with other members of the track team?
Logan didn't really get along with Alex.
What do you mean by that? I'll say.
One day, Alex started poking fun at Logan and he got really upset and punched Alex in the face.
What happened
all broke out really after, and Logan was placed on probation, which really retracted. So this was good.
Did you continue on track?
Yes.
What was your relationship with Alex?
We became closer friends. He was popular guy at school.
Did Logan return to the track team?
In our next year.
What activities were the members of the track team involved in?
Track meets, practices, parties.
Did you and Logan go to such of these parties?
Yes.
Tell our jury about the party you were.
We were invited to a party, and there was alcohol present.
Do you have any concerns about what you saw?
Yes, it was a little, yeah, and Logan was feeling a little nervous, so I encouraged him to take out his smartphone to take pictures to keep his attention.
Did you drink any of the alcohol at the party?
No.
What happened when you left the party?
We had been together to Hurricane High School.
Did you go and visit Twister, the mascot?
Yes.
How did you get there?
And
What happened when you arrived?
well, when we got there, we headed over to take pictures with the mascot.
And did you leave with Logan after?
Logan said he had to go home early for practice or something next morning, so I went home with Alex.
Wow. When did you next speak to Logan? What did you and Logan discuss in your call?
We discussed, was a little bit concerned about pictures being posted online.
Did you want him not to?
I told him not to, and he asked why.
Why did you tell Logan this? Not supposed to.
Well, it was applying for colleges, and schools run a social media check to see what's happening online, and if we posted it, then it would affect me.
And how did you respond to you telling him not supposed to?
Give me a straight answer. I was really concerned that we would think about doing such thing.
Did anything more happen about Twister during that year in school?
Shortly after, school resource officers and police to investigate and track them because we were only around there at that time.
What were your thoughts at that time of them investigating?
I was pretty nervous that the pictures might get out.
How did your senior year start out?
It was fine. I was getting good grades and was elected the president of the student government.
Did you continue on the track team?
Yes, and Alex made me the team's captain.
So you were the president of student government and track team captain. How did that interview you?
I became the most popular kid at school, and Logan felt kind of more distant.
Do you think Logan became jealous?
Yeah.
At this point, what was your relationship like with Logan?
I tried to text him like every night, but he sometimes wouldn't respond, or,
Did you communicate about that with Logan?
yes, and tried to like, ask him what's going on.
Did you argue?
Yes.
What was Logan's reaction to what you said?
Well, I told him, well, I kind of reprimanded him for throwing me off not talking to him, and he got really upset and saying that you actually did this to me.
After that, what happened?
Kind of just stopped talking to him.
And did anything happen with Facebook?
Yes, so that, after this conversation, I logged on to Facebook and I saw the pictures that I posted on
how did they pop up on Facebook?
So actually, that's what we
Jordan, do you know how to post pictures on Facebook?
yeah.
To your knowledge, how does one post a picture on Facebook?
You have to manually select each individual picture in order for them to actually go on Facebook, which means that you have to know what you're putting on.
To your knowledge, did Logan know that?
Yes.
Let me show you what we have marked as State Exhibit 1. Jordan, let me show you photographs that were marked as State Exhibit A. Are you familiar with them?
Yes.
Please describe what you're looking at.
These are the pictures that posted occurred that year.
And are these photos you said that Logan posted and popped up on your Facebook?
Yes, because face plays, because it sees your face, it puts it onto your profile also.
What was your reaction to seeing these pictures?
I was mortified.
Why were you mortified?
I was applying for colleges and I was kind of like the center of the investigation and everything.
Is this the time colleges to look for your social media?
Yeah.
Were there any comments posted on the pictures?
So earlier that evening, Tony Ferrari said, he was wondering who was the person who destroyed Twister. And then Logan said, I wonder who destroyed Hurricane's mascot Twister.
Objection, Your Honor. Grounds.
Yishai.
Sustained.
What happened next?
The next day, the school resource officer and the principal and the police came in and took me out of class.
What happened when they pulled you out of class?
He said there was a serious criminal investigation to see if I actually was part of this.
What happened then? Did the principal talk to you?
So the principal came on. He immediately took me off as president and captain of the track.
And why was that?
There's a zero tolerance policy for alcohol.
Did you drink alcohol at the party?
No,
Did you explain that to the principal?
I wasn't able to. I just completely broke down.
What happened next? Did it get worse? Did anything happen?
Yes. So the next day, I logged on to Facebook, Logan at posted lyrics to his new songs.
Mm-hmm. And did those lyrics change in any way?
Yes, it seems to be getting more negative and kind of directed towards me.
Mm-hmm. Which song was specifically directed towards you?
Objection. Speculation.
Overruled. All allowed. Go ahead.
Which song was specifically towards you? Do you remember the exact words?
No.
Will anything help you remember those words? Let me show you what we have marked. Let's say it's Jordan, let me show you what we have marked on stage of the sea. What is this document?
These are the lyrics that were
friend looks like it's going to be a violent end. Jordan, when these lyrics were posted on March 28th, 2014, was Logan your former friend? Are you or any other lines, and we know you all did it, that indicate that that Logan was trying to harm you or frame you?
Yeah. I had plans to be my friend. You know you did it and twisted your way out. Even though you're the head honcho, you still had to destroy the main attraction of what you did.
Your Honor, the state moves to enter Exhibit C.
Any objection? You'll be admitted.
How do you feel about the line of the song? Cheers to you, my former friend. Looks like it's going to be a violent end.
I got really scared for, yeah.
Did you talk to anybody about these lyrics?
I spoke to the school guidance counselor.
What did you discuss with the counselor?
Objection, they say. Rephrase the question.
Did you discuss anything with the guidance counselor about these words?
I told the guidance counselor that I would like the woman to face up to what he did, and that we should really get some help.
Do you feel that Logan's lyrics have changed in any way?
They got worse and worse.
What impact has this had on you?
It's pretty ruined my life. I can't really apply for colleges, and at school my grades are slipping.
Do you still go on Faceplace?
Yes,
Have you noticed whether Logan is posting anything?
yes, yes.
Any new songs?
We recently posted a new song that I wrote.
Do you remember any lyrics of that song? Jordan, please direct your attention to the lyrics of the song, but I won't. And this prints out from Logan's Facebook page. When were they posted?
They were posted on page that this year.
Please wrote the lyrics that you found threatening to you.
It's the only way I can choose it through to know that I got to you. Laying your guilt, pay for what you got. Feel the knife cut deep, feel it burn.
Objection, lack of personal knowledge.
State for lack of predicate. Although, let me retract that because it's in evidence. He's now reading what's already been admitted as an exhibit, so I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Laying your guilt, pay for what you've done. Feel the knife cut deep, feel it burn, feel it deep.
What was your reaction to these lyrics entitled?
I got really scared for my life.
There you are. No further questions.
Cross-examination.
You and Logan were friends, correct?
Sorry.
Logan was your friend, correct?
Correct.
Logan's music was acoustic and happy beat, correct? Logan writes and composes all his music, right? Logan puts all his music on Faceplace because it brings him attention and gifts, correct? You didn't have a problem with that, correct? And you knew that since the beginning of your friendship, like when you gave him a guitar, correct? You knew that, correct?
You understand?
And you knew that since the beginning of your friendship, like when you gave him the guitar, correct? Now, Jody, you went to Alex's party, correct? There was alcohol at the party, true? And you picked up and held an open beer bottle, correct? And you picked up and held did that to make it look like you were having a good time, right? You look like to have the look that you're a part of the crowd and you like to fit in. Correct.
In fact, you've proven in the sworn statement in which you said I was holding the beer bottle in my hand to make it look like I was part of the crowd. I just wanted to fit in, right?
Correct.
And now no one made you pick up the bottle or fit, did they?
Correct.
You did it on your own.
Right.
And you knew that Jordan was taking pictures to make it look like you were having a good time. Isn't that right? It's true you went to the Perkins High School and to the mascot twisted, correct?
Correct.
You did that on your own, right? You did that on your own. Right. You, no one made you do it.
Correct. And you and the track team members were posing with Twister so that Logan could take pictures, right? No one made you go to Twister and pose for the pictures, isn't that correct? And so that you didn't forget the fun you were having that night, right? When you heard Twister was vandalized, you started to freak out, correct? And you begged Logan not to post the pictures with Twister because you were concerned with what people would think, correct? Johnny gave a sworn statement, and in the statement you said you were pissed off at Logan when he asked whether you were part of it. Correct? And when the police interviewed you about the vandalism of Twister, you didn't tell the police that that pictures were taken of you with Twister. Correct? It became really important for you to be the face of the school, true? And you had to represent the best image possible, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, irrelevance.
Sustained.
So you didn't bother to tell the police about the fact that you were with Twister the night it was vandalized and there were pictures of you with Twister, correct? So you didn't bother to tell the police about the fact that you were with Twister the night it was vandalized and that there was pictures with you with Twister, correct? Your image was really important to you, wasn't it? You loved your friend Logan, yes? You and Logan had a heated discussion one night, isn't that true? You claimed that Logan kept blowing you off, correct?
Objection, Patrick.
Overruled.
Logan said that you were, for those who, Logan said that you were the one that disappeared, right? Logan didn't hit you, did he? Logan did not hit you, did he? You felt bad that you disappeared on your friend Logan, yes?
Objection, irrelevance.
Ask a question here, please.
Logan said that you felt bad that you disappeared on your friend Logan, yes?
Now there was an objection pending on relevance, sustained. Next question.
But you said that Logan ruined your life, isn't that so? The school principal removed you from SGA president because of the pictures that were captured while you were doing at the party, correct? Logan did not Photoshop those pictures, did he?
Objection.
Sustained. Outside the scope of this witness involvement.
What is in those pictures depicted what in the pictures that showed your You never talked to Logan about the lyrics, did you? not talk to Logan about the pictures, did you? The lyrics. He never told you that they were about you, did he? The grades were slipping and the whole school sees you differently, right? Jordan, you agree that Logan didn't make you go to the pot to pick up a beer or go to Twister. That was your own choice, correct?
Objection.
Gotcha.
Overruled.
So you agree that Logan did not make you go to the party, pick up a beer, or go to Twister.
Objection. Objection. Compound question.
Sustained, break it down to single issues.
You went, Logan didn't make you go to the party, did he? No. You picked up a beer, did you? Did you pick up a beer at the party? Did you go to Twister? Was that your own choice? Those were your own actions, correct? And now you want Logan to take responsibility of your own actions, right? And now you want Logan to take responsibility for your own actions, right?
Objection. Relevance.
Sustained.
No follow question.
Some further questions?
Yeah.
You don't do, what are you gonna do? Okay. You may step down. State calling next witness. Who's your next witness? Or who's next witness? Alex. Speak up nice and loud so everybody can hear you.
What is your name?
Alex.
Do you know Jordan Stone?
Yes.
How do you know Jordan Stone?
He was trained here. And we met and we track teams together for about 3 years in high school.
Who was the captain of the track team?
I was.
Do you know Logan Bartrand?
Yeah, he was inside.
What did you think of Logan?
I thought he was a little bit crazy.
Please elaborate.
Objection, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Opinion.
Sustained.
When you were team captain, did the track team have any tradition?
Yes, we had a party every year with 100 new members.
Who was invited?
Just the team members.
Did anyone else show up?
Yes, Logan was there also.
You didn't kick him out of your house, did you?
No, still,
Where did you go towards the end of the party?
we went to the rival team's mascot this year.
What did you guys do?
We took pictures with the mascot.
What happened the next day?
The next day, we found out that it was Weinkle, the mascot.
Did you do it?
Objection, Your Honor. Ambiguous questions.
Overruled. What happened in school that day?
What happened in school? We found out about that it was vandalized.
Was Boss your well-known nickname at school?
Yes.
Did you feel threatened?
Yes, one time Logan came by and he said, "You should watch your back, boss."
What was your relationship with Jordan?
He was on the track team with me, hung out with me a lot. And we became friends, he became very popular because he was around me.
Now, did you know that what happened with the pigs, Logan
Objection, Your Honor.
Ground.
Lack of personal knowledge.
If he knows, he can answer the question.
Yes. Most of those pictures.
What happened after that?
I lost stuff. I was kicked off the track team and I lost stuff. I lost president of the student body.
What did you think when this happened?
I thought that it wasn't going to be very good for later on.
Was there another time that you felt threatened by Logan?
Yes, there were. Logan posted lyrics on his Facebook page that were directing towards me.
Is that the only thing you saw on his page?
Those and the pictures.
Was there anything in particular that made you feel threatened?
Yeah, there was a lyrics called, it said, you'll be next, boss, click. So I think that's referring to me.
How did you understand these lyrics? Objection, Your Honor.
Ground.
Opinion.
Sustained.
I have no further questions.
Thank you. Cross. Oh, you're
Yeah.
okay, not a problem. Witnesses all get to blur together after a while.
Alex, you met Goldberg in Barkshire when you were the captain of the traffic, correct? When you met him, you thought he was weird. Right. You insulted Logan as to why his mother was single. Right. You said, and I'm quoting here, if your mom is as stiff as you, it's no wonder she's single. Correct? Right. Did he ever show any aggression against you before you insulted his mom?
He punched me in the face.
It's another question. Ask the question again.
Did he ever show you any aggression before he insulted your mom? You insulted his mom. And after you said that he punched you, right?
Yes.
And he apologized after.
Yes.
You didn't insult him or his mother again, did you?
No.
You made a party for the traffic manager, correct?
Yes.
And you were surprised that a traffic Logan, a member of the traffic, was there.
Yes.
There was alcohol at this party, correct?
Right.
And you saw Jordan with a drink.
Right.
You were the one with the idea to go visit Twister, correct?
Right.
And Logan took pictures of you, Jordan, and other traffic members with Twister, correct?
Right.
You posed for the pictures?
No.
You didn't pose for the pictures, but he took pictures. You can answer that question.
Rephrase the question. I'm not sure I understand.
I asked, did you pose? I asked you if he took pictures of you. You said yes. I asked you if you posed for any of the pictures, that he took.
Yes.
You saw that Logan left before anything happened to Twister, correct?
Yes.
You told Jordan and Logan to never tell anyone that you visited Twister, or else you'll kill them.
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled. I'd like to impeach the witness. I'd like to try out
Everyone would like to impeach a witness.
I really don't know how to do this, but
Ask a question. Bring out evidence. You think
maybe a short statement.
you can't do it that way. You have to do it the right way. So let them look at the statement, and ask him if he's ever said anything different.
Could I show
First, you may approach the witness and give him the statement. First you ask the question, have you ever said anything different than what you just testified to?
Have you ever said anything different than what you just said? That we can testify?
No. Show me, statement.
Show him or show you?
Well, you should show opposing counsel first. They always get it first. Up there, opposing counsel up there. You give it to them so they can look at it and be sure that you're not showing him something that's been doctored or written on or notes on it or something else.
Okay.
Any of, okay, go ahead. What does that?
Oh, it's not it. It's in Logan's thing. It's not analysis.
Guys. I guess I'll go and stay with that.
What to withdraw the question?
Next thing.
You called Logan an obsessed psycho, correct?
Yes.
You told Jordan to get rid of Logan after he took the pictures of the tracking around Twisted, correct? Correct. You were really happy that Jordan stopped hanging out with Logan, correct? You got in trouble during your sophomore year because of shoplifting.
Objection. Irrelevant. Sustained.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down. State. Call your next witness, State.
Call Dr. Shelley to the stand.
Dr. Bell. Go ahead.
Please state your name for the record. Dr. Kelly. What do you do for a living, Dr. Kelly? I work in Sunshine High School. I work for how long have you worked as a school psychologist? Working in that field for 27 years. Please describe your educational background. Once I received a bachelor's degree in Stockholm University. Did you graduate work after earning your bachelor's degree from Stockholm University? Yes. After my bachelor's degree, I received a master's degree. Thereafter, I received a doctorate degree at Stockholm University. You specialize in a particular area of children's psychology? Yes, I teach teenage psychology. Talk
capacity as a school psychologist? Have you counseled Jordan?
Yes.
How would you describe Jordan Stowe?
He's a hard worker, kind of,
What type of personality does Jordan have?
he's elected by the SGA, the Student Government Association President.
What did Jordan speak to you about during your counseling session with Jordan?
Said that he was
Objection, Homer?
Brown.
Grounds up here a second.
What's your response to that?
It says in his statement that, it says in Dr. Kelly's statement that he counseled Jordan.
One moment, please. I was waiting for another objection. You told me what not to worry about, but he kind of takes that as testimony if I rule. Overrule. I'll make it simple.
Do you have an opinion of social websites such as Facebook?
yes. Found out that Facebook, social media, has both positive and negative aspects.
What did Jordan tell you about that picture you already posted on Facebook?
That they're very threatening.
That they were very threatening. In your interactions with Jordan, what can you tell the jury about Jordan's disposition after those pictures were posted? What did Jordan say that he was feeling after?
He was feeling bad and anxious.
Just, did you have other sessions with Jordan?
Yes.
How often did you meet with Jordan?
Weekly.
What was discussed in those sessions?
That he was getting bad from Logan, and when Logan posts pictures on Jordan's business.
What did Jordan feel Logan was threatening him on Logan's Facebook page?
He felt very sad.
Did you read and view the lyrics?
Yes.
As a school psychologist with specialization in teen psychology, did you form an opinion of the lyrics Logan Bartram posts on Logan's Facebook page?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Did you form an opinion of the lyrics that Logan Bartram posted on his Facebook page?
Yes, I feel like this.
Objection?
Sustained as to what this witness felt. Sustained. That's the next question.
What was your opinion of the lyrics?
My opinion is that when Logan posts on those lyrics,
Objection?
Brown.
Lack of proper predication.
Well, it's not a question of lack of predicate, but the question is, this witness is not qualified to testify how someone else felt or reacted. Well, I guess without appropriate predicate, so I'm going to sustain the objection. Cultural speculation on how the other person felt.
After speaking with Jordan and reading the lyrics posted on Logan's Facebook page, what happened next?
May I remind the witness of his mistake?
If you believe his statement will refresh his recollection, and he believes it would refresh his recollection, you can give it to him and have him read it, to see if it refreshes his recollection.
Would it refresh your recollection?
Would reading your statement refresh your recollection? The statement that you gave earlier.
Yes.
about to Mr. Tanner. Mr. Frankie Tanner. What size is student named Logan? Did you say anything else to Frankie Tanner? Yeah. Okay, about Logan. What did Frankie Tanner tell you? When you were talking to Logan about the
question
Overruled because he didn't answer the question. He just asked the question. Go ahead.
when you were talking to Logan about the current incident, did you make any observations? Yes. Did you talk to Logan about his lyrics? Yes. What did Logan say? Did you offer assistance to Logan? Yes, but he said he doesn't need any help. Do you have any concerns about Logan? Do you have any concerns about Logan? No. What else occurred in that meeting, Doctor? Did Logan express anything else in that meeting? Yes, he expressed that his depression was as Rubin's not prevented as a crime. What did Logan tell you? Did he tell you anything about his music? Yes. What did he say? Personality is. What about it? Logan accused Jordan.
No, doctor, I want you to focus your attention back to Jordan. Did you have an occasion to observe Jordan's academic performance after this course or as transpired? After all of it, is there anything about Jordan, about his grades?
Yes. One time when I looked at his grades,
Did you draw any conclusions about Jordan's academic performance? You know why his grades were dropping? As a school psychologist, have you formed an opinion about Jordan's behavior based upon what you learned in your sessions with him, with Logan, regarding Logan's group of lyrics and the sanctions imposed on Jordan after Logan posted the poem? As a school psychologist, after reading Logan's lyrics, have you posed an opinion on Logan? What could you tell us about Logan after all this time with Jordan? All the lyrics and the pictures. All the lyrics and picture of both Jordan. It's continuing as Jordan continuing sessions with you. How is Jordan doing those sessions? He's doing well, and Jordan and I were both working on to get to this next college. No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I will. Let's just say that.
Doctor, is it of your opinion that Jordan cares about what other people do? Is that correct? Yes.
Is it correct to say that that Logan cares to
far as say a lot about what other people do. Is that correct? No. But I remind you that you're under oath here, and that's not what you said in your testimony. May I approach witness?
Yes, you may.
If you take a look at lines 12 through 13, read from then.
What you need to do is ask him if, reviewing his statement would refresh his recollection as to what he said in the past. Same thing I said to that question.
My apologies. When reviewing this, remind you of what you mentioned in the past in an affidavit.
Yes.
So may
Yes, you may.
you please read
Don't, give it to him, let him read it, review it, let him look up when he's done.
lines 12 and then the ending of line 12 and the beginning of line 13. So Logan, so Jordan does care a lot about what others do.
Yes.
Okay, that's what. Dr. Kelly, you looked at the photos of Jordan that were posted on the internet, is that correct?
Correct.
You studied the photo of Jordan holding up the bottle of alcohol, is that correct?
Correct.
May I introduce it into evidence as defense exhibit B?
Any objection?
Yeah.
Introducing it in their case in chief, but
Left proper circuit.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Well, let's pretend, for the purposes of trial proceedings, that you recalled this witness or asked for the court's permission to introduce the evidence during their case, because he's their witness, okay? So, go ahead and,
The photo of alcohol was brought up previously.
it may have been brought up, but he's their witness and you're trying to introduce it as an exhibit, but we'll, as opposed to
Do
bringing
you
it
want
back.
to, you want him to testify about that?
Yeah, I would like him to testify about this.
Go ahead.
It's up to you.
I'm gonna have to cut it.
It's up to you. Oh, no, no. That one has
This
to
is-
be-
Well, it's a blown up one they gave us. Also with the file. Can you take a look at the photo? What do you, can you please describe what you see in the photo? Can you please tell Jordan what you see in the photo? Is it correct you see Jordan holding up alcohol?
Yes, correct. I see Jordan holding up a bottle of alcohol.
No, Doctor, you have previously stated that I found it hard to believe that Jordan would be engaging in this activity. Is that correct? In this behavior?
Right.
So while you found it hard to believe that he would not be behaving in this activity, however, you were not at the party, is that correct?
No.
So you didn't know, so you did not know what was going on at that party at the time?
Correct.
Okay. I would like to direct your time to, is it correct you spoke to Logan Bartram?
Correct.
Is it correct to say that you spoke to him in 3 different meetings?
Correct.
Now, the first of those meetings followed an incident in which Logan defended his mother's honor when Alex insulted his mother. Is that correct?
Correct.
You agree that Alex can be a bit of a bully. Is that correct? And there was an incident report following that altercation. Is that correct? You reviewed this incident report. Is that correct?
Correct.
You said that Logan was provoked by Alex Miller, but needed to find a better way of coping skills than the use of violence. End quote. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And I quote, you said that Logan was provoked by Alex Miller, but needed to find a better way of coping than the use of violence. End quote. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, Logan got punished for this his involvement in this altercation. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now I would like to move your attention over to the second time you met with Logan. You critiqued Logan's music. Is that correct?
Correct.
You are not a musician. Is that correct? not. You are not trained at music critiquing, are you now, Doctor? No. And is it correct to say that you acknowledge that Logan, and I quote, did not appreciate you critiquing his music when you did not have any idea what you were talking about? And clearly you have no appreciation for good music. Is that correct?
Objection, Your Honor.
I am laying.
Overrule, ask the question again.
Is it correct that you acknowledge that you gave notice to when Logan said at the end of the second meeting, you did not appreciate you critiquing his music when you did not have any idea what you were talking about, and clearly you did not have any appreciation for good music. Is that correct?
Objection, hearsay.
Okay, whose witness is this? Because isn't it supposed to be the person that did the direct making the objection?
It's mine.
Okay, so are you standing up now and accepting?
Objection, hearsay, Your Honor.
I am laying.
Overruled, go ahead. May proceed. Pardon?
Well then, please answer.
Well, ask the question again, I'll give you a chance to ask the question again in front of the jury.
Is it correct that you acknowledge that Logan did not appreciate you critiquing his music when you did not have any idea, as we have said, of what you were talking about, and clearly you have no appreciation for good music?
No actual appreciation.
And now you indicate that you also after that, you tried to provide other social alternatives to Logan as to ways to deal with his feelings. However, Logan didn't seem amused or interested. Is that correct?
Right.
Do you agree with Dr. Sawyer Flagler that music is a way to cope with anger, with this aggression?
May I introduce one another?
You may do whatever you want to do, or try to.
I would like to introduce Dr. Sawyer Flagler's statement to show that he does say music is a way of therapy.
And
Yes,
the other side, would this state any objection?
Yeah, that, he asked him if he agrees to the dear doctor, and he's bringing dear doctor saying that he's not showing that he agrees with it.
Sustained.
But you do agree that music is a way to cope with anger. But you do agree that music is a beneficial way to cope with this violence.
No.
No? Okay. You have read Logan's songs, is that correct?
Right.
Do you remember saying the target of this aggression used to be someone Logan was close to, and I can only presume that this person to be Jordan? Is that correct?
Correct.
So what you're saying is that is it true that you presume they are directed towards Logan? Is that correct?
Correct.
So you're only presuming, correct? So you don't actually know for sure it was Jordan, that it was directed towards Jordan. Is that correct? You're only guessing.
Sure it's not Jordan.
You're presuming that it is Jordan, which means you're guessing. You don't actually know for sure. Is that correct?
I'm not presuming.
You clearly stated in your sworn statement that you presume it only to be someone Jordan used to be close to. The target of this aggression used to be someone Logan was close to. I can only presume that person to be Jordan. So you disagree with what you just said previously?
Correct.
May I impeach your witness by
I think
showing?
you just did.
So in your statement, if you take a look, which I already gave out to you guys, that if you look on page 20, take a look at lines 52 and 53.
Objection, Your Honor.
Brown.
Argument the question.
I'll give him a little leeway. You may review his statement and ask the following question. Go ahead.
Following question is, so I asked you if you can clearly see that you can only presume that. So the question is, so you don't actually know for a fact that they were directed towards Jordan. You're only guessing. Is that correct?
Correct.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down. State have any additional witnesses? What does the state do at this time?
So
State reps, okay, very well. Defense, call your first witness.
I like to, the defense likes to call up the defendant Goldberg.
Who? I live with my mother. Why, like father? No, I don't live with my mother. He died. Sorry, do you recall what caused your father's death? I'm so sorry. That must have been tough on you and your mother. Both of you. You help your mom. Yeah. How do you help?
I got a job and just to help with the finances and like and help support my mother. And I had that job until this incident happened.
When you started school, did you have any friends?
Let me ask you a question first. The question before is kind of water under the bridge, but what was the ground of the objection?
He's using the paper.
As far as the rules of the thing, you're not supposed to read from
No,
the,
not recognized in this jurisdiction.
Objection. That one's not recognized in this jurisdiction.
that one's not recognized in this jurisdiction, read what you paper. Well, for the purposes of this practice, we'll allow him to refresh his right. Go ahead.
Hey.
It's like real court.
When you started school, did you have any friends like Sunshine? Hi.
Yeah, my mom got a job and I just moved here and I met Jordan and we started hanging out and became friends right away.
Alright. Do you appreciate that you participate in any activities?
Yeah, Jordan suggested us going to track and we both made it into a game.
Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I love and enjoy music.
Tell us about your enjoyment of music.
I play, write, and share music. Music is like therapeutic for me, so it allows me to express myself in creative ways.
What do you mean you share your music?
I have a Facebook page and I post my music on there and share it with other Facebook users.
When was that?
When we became friends in the early days of our friendship.
You stated that Jordan was your friend. Tell us about your friendship.
We were really close.
Did Jordan and you exchange gifts?
Yes.
What did you receive from Jordan?
He saved us money and bought me a guitar. It was a really nice deal and it really helped me with my music.
I now want to direct you to your experience with the track team. So did you continue on the track team after your freshman year?
Yes, we tried to make it into the varsity team.
Who was the captain of the varsity track team?
Alex Miller.
Did Jordan and Alex become friends?
Yes.
You and Alex become friends?
No, the opposite.
What do you mean?
Alex was never really nice to me. He didn't like me. He would taunt me most of the time. I ignored him. But one day during practice, he told my mother.
Told your mom. What do you mean?
He knew my mother was raising me alone. He said, "Your mom is a stiff like you. No wonder she is sick." I could take him insulting my mother, but given the reason why my mother is single, that my father committed suicide, I was very low blow.
What happened then?
I generally ignored him, but this time he attacked my mother, and I reacted out of love for my mother and protection, so
Is that the right thing to do?
no,
Did Alex taunt you again?
no, he ignored me.
Did you speak to Alex again?
No. Yeah, I apologize.
Did you ever hit anyone before that incident?
No,
Did you punch anyone after that incident?
no.
Now, when you and Jordan made the track team, were there any events to welcome new members to the team?
Yes, Alex had a party at his house, and he invited Jordan, and Jordan invited me.
Tell us about the party.
All the Goldberg kids were there. We were at the party, but our surprise, there were drugs and alcohol.
What were you doing at the party?
I bought a smartphone, and I was joking around with Jordan, and I was like taking pictures.
What was Jordan doing?
There was like alcohol, and we were kind of surprised at that. And Jordan started picking up beers to act popular and posing that with pictures.
Jordan knew that you were taking pictures of him?
Yeah, he told us. It was no big deal. We were having like a fun time.
Make Jordan pick up the video.
No.
Let me show you what you have marked as defense exhibit 1, picture of Jordan with beard.
Wait, what do you want?
Again, you should show it to opposing counsel first, even though it's in evidence, just to be sure that,
Sitting on their table.
that there are multiple copies. But just for practice sake, just to.
May I approach the
You may. Makes no difference to me. The jury's the one you have to communicate to.
Logan, do you recognize the document?
Yes.
What is it?
This is the picture I took of Jordan with the beard at Alice Park.
Your Honor, we asked the defense exhibit 1 to be placed into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
It'll be admitted.
Did you drink anything?
No.
What happened next?
Alex told Jordan that he had some track team members that were going to a rival school, Hague, to visit their mascot, which is called Twister. Jordan said he was going, and I didn't really want to go, but at Jordan's suggestion, I went. And I was like driving.
So you went to Hague with who?
Alex, Jordan, and some other track members.
What happened when you arrived?
Jordan and the guys got around Twister and I took some pictures.
Everyone knew that you were taking pictures.
Yeah, they published.
Make any of them appear in the pictures?
No.
Let me show you what you have marked as defense composite exhibit 2, picture of Jordan with team with Twister and with
That's already been admitted in the defense exhibit 1.
Your Honor, may I approach the Logan, do you recognize the document?
Yes.
What is it?
These were like pictures, so I took it up. I took them when they were around Twister.
Your Honor, we ask that defense exhibit 2 be placed into evidence.
Which is 2. Starting evidence is 1, you don't need it in the second time. Yes.
Page 2. That's it. Your Honor, we ask that defense exhibit 2 be placed into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Don't admit it.
What happened after you took these pictures?
I went home because I had to get up early for my job. Jordan stayed and Alex said he would get a ride home.
What happened next?
In the morning, there was an article about Twister being vandalized. I went to school.
What happened at school?
The police came.
Did you and Jordan talk about being at Hurricane High?
Yeah, Jordan was really nervous. I didn't know why, and even asked him if he had anything to do with Twister being vandalized. He said no.
What happened next?
Jordan changed. He was interested in becoming popular and hung out more and more with us.
How do you feel about the change?
I was upset. Jordan was my best friend, and he changed. He wasn't the same.
I want to now direct your attention to a year later. Did there come a time where the vandalism of Twister come up again?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I was thinking back on old times, and I posted the pictures.
You posted the pictures.
Objection. In the opening statement, he said that he accidentally posted the pictures, and now he said that he posted them on purpose.
Overruled, that can be cleared up on cross. Go ahead.
I want posted the pictures, what went through your mind?
I was just thinking back and remembering the prior year. I didn't think of anything more. They were memories. And when you post pictures, you draw people to your site. By posting pictures, it was a way to draw attention to music.
You personally put the names on any one of the pictures when you posted them?
No.
When the pictures were posted, did they appear with people's names?
Yeah, they got automatically tagged. Faceplace has a face recognition so that it puts the names on the pictures.
Now you said earlier that you write and share your music, what is your music about?
It's not particularly about anyone. My most recent music video is my idol, Queen Bee Jones.
Is there any of your music about someone?
No.
Was your music about Jordan?
No.
What happened after the pictures were posted?
Students started talking. One even put something out there wondering who had vandalized Twister. I got called to the students.
Tell us about your meeting with the student, with the school council.
He criticized my music and he misunderstood it.
What did you tell him?
That all my songs were songs I listened to from Queen Bee Jones, and that I was sad about listening to it.
What happened after that?
Police got a protective order against me. Now I can't talk to Jordan on Facebook anymore.
What happened next?
The principal removed Jordan from the presence of the student body because he had beer in his hand and the school has a zero tolerance for alcohol. Jordan blamed me. He was also suspended from track because he was at Twister, I guess. He blamed that one on me too. He misread my lyrics and then he got a protective order barring us from further contact. He said I was trying to ruin his life.
Objection, Your Honor.
Ground.
Narrative, question and answers.
Sustain. No question.
Would counsel like know who's counsel in this case?
Yes, and who is the one?
I am counsel.
You are, so.
Yes,
I didn't even see your mouth. But now I can handle the objections, okay?
Yes, sir.
I have that problem all the time, right? The litigants come to me.
That was my next question. After that, what happened?
The police came and arrested me for cyber harassment and cyber stalking.
Cross. Don't.
Logan, you were very nervous beginning school at Central National.
Yeah.
First person you met was Jordan Stowe, correct? He was nice to you, and you and Jordan became best friends when you went to school, correct?
Correct.
And your friendship deepened and became inseparable over the year, correct?
Correct.
When Jordan decided to go out for the JV track team freshman year, you clung to him and tried out also, correct?
Yeah.
And you made your profile on Faceplace public so that anybody could listen to your music and see what you posted. And you found out that you get lots of friends and followers, including students from your high school and others from all around, from all over in no time at all, correct?
Correct.
Now, Logan, you didn't just post your music that you listened to, you chose to post your lyrics to Faceplace page also, correct?
Correct.
And Logan, moving on, you have a bad temper, don't you, Logan?
No.
Objection. Improper character.
Overruled.
And,
Rephrase the question, I'll ask a different question.
all right, during sophomore year in high school, you punched Alex Miller,
Correct.
the captain of varsity track team, and most of the popular students and one of the most popular students in the face when he was teasing you, right?
Correct.
And you teased him and you punched him in the face and gave him a black eye, right?
Correct.
You teased you, sir. And you said you moved on, right?
Yeah.
But you really didn't move on, did you, Alex? You still have a problem with Alex Miller.
Yeah.
And you consider you were happy because you got to spend more time with Jordan on the track team, correct? Alex Miller came to personally invite Jordan to a party for the JV track team, correct?
Correct.
Objection. Personally, but
Grounds.
Yes, sir.
Overruled.
he didn't personally invite you, correct? Alex. And you said that Jordan acted weird because he suddenly, all he wanted to do was go to the party and see Alex, right?
Correct.
You never really liked Alex.
Correct.
You
Objection.
figured out,
Opinion.
About whether he liked him or not?
Yes.
Overruled.
You figured you were a better runner and he wasn't a good role model, correct? close relationship with Alex, weren't you?
Yes.
And because you knew that Jordan wanted to fit in and impress people, you even told Alex not to brainwash your friend and to watch himself, correct?
Correct.
And you didn't like the fact that Jordan wanted to go to the party, correct?
Correct.
You weren't popular at Sunshine High, were you?
Hey?
You weren't very popular at Sunshine High, were you?
Yeah, that's true.
You think that popularity can make people jerks, right? And you decided to take pictures with your camera at the party with your smartphone, and Jordan next to empty beer bottles, correct? You even took one of Jordan with beer in his hand, correct?
Yes.
You didn't have Jordan take any pictures of you with beer, right? And when Alex and Jay came over to talk with Jordan, you got frustrated, right? You got frustrated when Jay Cross and Alex came over to Jordan, correct? When Alex and Jay said it would be a fun idea to visit Hurricane's mascot Twister, and Jordan thought it was a fun idea, you decided to tag along, correct?
Yeah, but I didn't really want to go.
And you, that was my next question. But you did claim to join, correct?
Yes. My friend.
You even made up the excuse that you had an early morning meeting with your music instructor, and you would have to leave as soon as you got there, right?
Yes.
But you didn't really have an early morning meeting, did you?
No.
You lied about it so that Jordan, so that you could leave, and Jordan seemed to be mad that you weren't going to hang out with him, correct?
Correct.
When you got there, you took a few pictures of Jordan and other people with the mask on, correct?
Correct.
And when you left, you didn't go straight home, correct?
Correct.
You drove around a bit, right? Now, no one was with you when you left, right? So no one but you knows where you went before you got home, correct?
Correct.
Now, the next morning, when it appeared in the newspaper that Twister had been vandalized, Jordan called you, correct?
Correct.
Jordan said he didn't know what happened to Twister, correct?
Yes.
You knew people were posting a lot of Facebooks about Twister after this happened, correct?
Correct.
And Jordan asked you to keep the pictures private and not to post them, isn't that right?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
When the police came to your school and asked about the incident, you didn't tell them you were at Twister the night it was vandalized, correct?
Correct.
You didn't see, and when time came for summer, you knew that Jordan became focused on doing all that was necessary to get into a good college, right? When it came to the summer, Jordan was focusing on college, correct?
Yes.
And he had to do everything that he needs to do to get into a good college, right? You didn't see college as the right thing to do, correct?
Correct.
As the senior year began, you perceived Jordan changed and ignored you, correct?
Correct.
You referred to Alex as the boss, right?
Yes.
You said Jordan was acting like the boss also, correct?
Correct.
And this took a toll on your friendship, right? You believe Jordan didn't acknowledge you at times, correct? And you got very mad, correct? You got mad. And you were upset that Jordan was disappearing from your life, correct?
Yes.
You thought of losing Jordan as a friend that devastated you. And he was your only friend, and you were angry at him, isn't that so? And then your life started falling apart. Your grades fell and you lost your job, correct?
Correct.
Now Logan, almost a year after Twister was vandalized, some of your friends started posting about it on Facebook page, correct? Almost a year after Twister was vandalized, some of your friends started to post about it in their Facebook page, correct?
Correct.
You even responded to Tony Ferrari's post when you wrote a status update asking who people thought Twister's murderer was. You decided to comment in a joking manner, quote unquote, gee, I wonder who the murderer is, Weinkle, correct? And that same day, still mad that you were losing Jordan as a friend, you posted the pictures of Jordan with the beer and Jordan with Twister on your Facebook page, correct? Let me show you what has been marked as evidence. Logan's pictures. John, may I push this a minute? Hey. Let me show you
Josh,
Yeah.
I need one.
Hey.
Very
Yeah. Are you familiar with those photographs?
Yes.
Please describe what they are to the jury. posted these photos on Facebook page, right? And right after, you responded in a joking way who Twister was, correct? Who Twister's murderer was, correct?
Objection. Ask and answer.
Sustained. It's in evidence already, so you can read.
So I'll read it again. Hey boss, you need to be demoted. Click, boom, watch you fade away. It's the only way I'll make it clear to know that I got you. You wrote those, correct? In your senior year, you knew Jordan as the new boss. That's when he became student body president. That's when he became student body president. Muller, correct? And Logan looked further to the lyrics of the song, but I won't. They go on to say, laying your guilt, pay for what you've done, feel a knife cut deep, feel a burn, feel a deep. Now Logan, please direct your attention to the lyrics of the song. We all know you did it. Got it? You wrote them and then posted them on your Facebook page on March 28th, 2015, right? Those lyrics say, I know who you think you are. You're the boss and the king. Who you are now is who you always will be. I just don't know how to make you see. Try so hard to fit in, make it work. It's all a mask to be ripped away. Cheers to you, my former friend. Looks like it's going to be a violent end. Cheers to you, my former friend. Looks like it's going to be a violent end. Jordan was your former friend, correct? Correct. And you wrote, and we all know you did it, which you posted on March 28, 2015. I have plans for you, my friend. You know you did it, and twisted your way out. Even though you're the head honcho, you still had to destroy the main attraction. We all know you did it. Your Honor, the state moves to, your friendship with Jordan had been the main attraction, and you felt it was destroyed, correct? Correct. Twisted refers to Twister and getting out of trouble, correct? Twisted refers to Twister and getting out of trouble, correct?
Objection. Explanation.
Extrapolation?
Yes.
If you can answer the question, you can answer the question. Overruled.
But it's out of the affidavits.
Oh, it's outside the scope of
Outside
the,
scope.
okay, so sustained.
Head honcho was because Jordan was the student body president, right? And honcho didn't refer to the student body president?
Objection. Outside of scope.
Yeah, I think on that type of thing, even the rules of the exercise allow for logical extensions. Head honcho could be taken as the head of school. It would be up for the fact finder to decide whether or not that's what he was referring to, or he or she was referring to. So I will allow it, given the fact that you are allowed to draw reasonable extrapolation. You just can't make up. Go ahead.
So I'm going to repeat the question. Head honcho was because Jordan was student body president, right?
Not really.
Your songs are about your feelings, right?
Yeah.
And then they are about your total life experience, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And when Alex heard your feelings and you hauled up and punched him in the face, right? And when Jordan Stowe heard your feelings, you posted these lyrics, these pictures, and you really destroyed, didn't you? You did. But they're about, you said they're about your life experiences, correct? But Your Honor, no further questions.
Josh, you may step down.
Yes, you can sit.
Call your next witness.
We would like to bring Professor Tanner to the stand.
Professor Tanner. Please speak up nice and loud,
Comfortable? Please state your name for the record.
Professor Frankie Tanner.
What do you do for a living?
I am a music professor at Sunshine High School.
Do you know local culture?
Yes, he was one of my students in my music class at Sunshine High School.
What was your first impression of Logan?
That he was a good kid enough to be a great asset for our music program.
And was he?
Yes, he was.
Is Logan serious about his music?
Yes, even to the extent that he told me that he writes his music and interprets his own songs.
What is your level of job satisfaction with your position at Sunshine High School?
I enjoy it because I give students a feeling of therapy so that they don't get, and so they might not get in trouble on the streets.
Do you give private lessons outside of school?
Yes, I do.
Do you give private lessons to Logan Bunch?
I did.
Did Logan pay for these lessons?
No, he didn't.
And why is that?
Because he told me how it was just him and his mother, and he was working the job, help support, and his father passed away when Logan was a kid. So out of sorrow, I decided to get him tutoring and try to afford him out there. So
Did Logan ever mention about posting music on Facebook?
yes, he told me that Jordan Stowe was the one that convinced him to start posting music on Facebook.
Did Logan ever tell you whether he had an influence for his songs?
He told me that he was influenced by his favorite music artist, Indie Guns, and other songs by his favorite artists.
Did you see any change in Logan Bartram's music since the beginning of your tutorage?
Yes, at first, when he first joined my program, it was a happy, upbeat music. But as he started losing his relationship with his best friend Jordan Stowe, it started becoming more angry.
Did he ever mention that he was having problems with Jordan Stowe?
Yes, he did.
Did you ever speak to Logan about the change in the music?
No, I didn't. As my job, I don't tell kids how to create their music. I try to mentor the kids on how to make their music better. But I did offer Logan help as if something would be happening in his house or in school to help offer counseling or something like that.
What is your view? What is your view of Logan?
I thought he was a good kid. I still think he was a good kid, that he wouldn't even harm a black.
Did you review Logan's lyrics with him?
Yes, I did. I didn't see anything that was directed towards a specific person.
As Logan's music teacher and instructor, what is your overall impression of Logan Bartram?
That he's a good kid, but I'm worried because with his family's past and all that, because he was a great kid and a great asset, and I'm afraid something like that happened.
No further question, Your Honor.
Cross.
Mr. Tanner, in your direct, you said you're a doctor, correct? No? Mr. Tanner, you...
Objection, Your Honor, irrelevance.
Come roll.
Mr. Tanner, you don't have a degree in child psychology, correct? You said that music is therapeutic and offers students a form of therapy, correct?
Yes.
You also mentioned that Logan writes his songs based on musicians he likes, correct?
Correct.
In December of Logan's senior year, you became concerned about Logan, right?
I don't know exactly what month it was, but I noticed a change in his music.
You realized the change from Logan's happy music to angry and depressing music, right?
Correct.
You spoke to Logan, correct?
Yes, I did.
And as you spoke to Logan, you realized that he was having problems with Jordan, isn't that right?
Yes.
It is true that you understood that Logan was in fear of losing his friend Jordan, correct?
Yes.
Dr. Kelly, the school guidance counselor, informed you that Logan had threatened Jordan on his Facebook page, and that there were laws against cyberstalking, correct?
Correct.
Mr. Tanner, after Dr. Kelly spoke to you, you read Logan's lyrics, right?
Correct.
Let me show you what we have marked as State's Exhibit 2.
They already have it.
Mr. Tanner, let me show you what we have marked as State's Exhibit 2. Are you familiar with this document?
Yes, this is Logan's Facebook page where he posted his lyrics to the songs.
Alright. Now, Mr. Tanner, please direct your attention to the lyrics of the song, But I Won't, that appear to have been posted on April 5th, 2014. hey boss, you need to be demoted, click, click, boom, watch you fade away. It's the only way I'll make it through to know that I got to you. That doesn't sound threatening to you, correct?
Not towards a specific person.
And you don't believe it directed to anyone in particular, even though it refers to hey boss.
Boss could be anyone. Boss could be the boss at his shop. Boss could be the boss of his mother's shop. Boss could be Alex Miller. Boss could be Jordan. It doesn't. We don't know for sure who it is.
But isn't Jordan referred to as boss?
In some form, but that doesn't mean specifically him.
And Mr. Tanner, looking further to the lyrics of Logan's song, But I Won't, they go on to say, lay in your guilt, pay for what you've done. Feel the knife cut deep, feel it burn, feel it bleed. Does that sound threatening to you?
Objection, Your Honor, lack of personal knowledge.
Sustained, rephrase the question.
Rephrase the question, then. Ben, rephrase the question.
When are you going to communicate with co-counsel?
Is it not true that Logan said that boss refers to Jordan?
Not specifically in this song. He said he called Jordan boss, but he never said boss in this song.
If he refers to him
Let one person speaking at a time. Let him finish his answer before you ask him.
So in this song, boss is so referring to anyone, as I stated before. The boss of his mother's job, the boss of his own job, Alex Miller, Jordan, because they all could be referred to as boss.
If he refers to Jordan as boss, if he only refers to Jordan as boss in his real life, why would he differentiate when it comes to the song?
Objection, lack of personal knowledge.
Sustained.
Why would Logan be upset at Jordan and write his lyrics right after all this dilemma was happening? And why would he ever mention these harmful lyrics towards anybody else besides for Logan?
As I said before, he didn't write his own lyrics. He was inspired by other musicians and other lyrics by his favorite musical artists. That he just took lyrics from there. That he didn't write somewhat wrote his own songs, but he was inspired by his musical artists. So that's how they were engaging to do is copy their genre, and he figured that his lyrics will sell well, that he might do well with other people, and he'll get more fans.
Now, Mr. Tanner, please direct your attention to the lyrics of the song We All Know You Did It. We All Know You Did It. That appeared to have been posted on March 28, 2015, which says, I know who you think you are. You're the boss and the king. Who you are now is who you will always be. I just don't know how to make you see. Try so hard to fit in, make it work. It's all a mask to be ripped away. Cheers to you, my former friend. Looks like it's going to be a violent end. Cheers to you, my former friend. Looks like it's going to be a violent end. That doesn't sound like a reference on a specific person, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, lack of personal knowledge.
Sustained.
When the lyrics mentioned try so hard to fit in, Jordan was not trying to fit in. Was Jordan trying to fit in with all the track winners, correct?
Objection, Your Honor, lack of personal knowledge.
Call for an opinion. Sustained.
You knew your student Logan Bartram was upset and wrote these lyrics and couldn't find anything threatening, correct?
One more time, please.
You knew your student Logan Bartram was upset and wrote these lyrics and couldn't find anything threatening, correct?
I found things that were threatening, but not towards any specific person.
Do you have no further questions?
Thank you. Let me step down. Our next witness.
To call Dr. Sawyer Flagler.
Dr. Flagler, come on up. Make a nice loud.
German? He does a great German accent. German, great German. Just tell him. Shh. Dr. Flagler.
Please introduce yourself. What is your name?
My name is Dr. Sawyer Flagler.
Do you work?
I do work.
What is your job?
I work at the Edison College Department of Prosecution University.
In psychology, what fields do you practice, or what do you specialize in?
I specialize in the social media and
Have you ever testified on trial as an expert witness before? Roughly how many times? Okay. Do you know who Logan Barton is? In what context do you know who Logan Barton is?
psychology.
And you, Logan Barton, right? So, when you know him as a psychologist, did he pay for those lessons?
No.
Now that you just testified that you had meetings with Logan, can you please tell the court what you and Logan discussed during those meetings?
We discussed his music, his childhood, and his friendship with other people.
Did you learn about Logan's youth during these meetings?
Yes, I did.
Was anything remarkable or anything that stood out that happened from Logan's
Father
youth?
committed suicide.
Have you reached an opinion with regards to Logan and his father committing suicide?
Yes, I have.
What is? Can you please tell the jury what that opinion is?
He is.
Are you aware, Doctor? Are you aware of any physical confrontations in which Logan was involved in?
Objection. Leading.
I am.
Overruled. Other, he's aware or he's not aware.
I am laying a foundation.
You won already,
What is the basis of your knowledge of the fight, of the altercation?
And I was aware of it.
And what do you say the cause of the altercation was?
A student said something bad to him.
And how did Logan react to this comment by the student?
He punched the student in the face.
In your opinion, given Logan's life experience and having his father commit suicide, and having to work, help support his household, and being a teenage high school student, was his reaction normal or natural to what was said?
Absolutely was.
Now, Doctor, I would like you to turn your attention to Logan's music. Are you aware of Logan's interest in music?
I am.
Can you please tell us about Logan's interest in music, and how does he express it?
He likes to write his own music, and he likes to post it online.
Did you read Logan's lyrics?
Yes, I did.
Did you discuss them with Logan in those meetings?
Yes, I did.
What did you discuss with Logan about the music?
Well, we discussed if they were pointed toward, directed towards anyone, or if they were inspired by anyone.
Did he tell you how he came to write his lyrics?
Yes.
And can you please tell us how?
He was inspired by an artist.
What was the source of influence?
He was inspired by an artist.
Can you please name the artist?
Maybe Jones.
Did you and Logan discuss if they were directed towards anyone in specific?
Yes.
Were they directed towards anyone in specific? Do you have an opinion as a psychologist and an expert witness as to Logan's lyrics? Do you have an opinion as a psychologist as to Logan's lyrics, or the nature of the lyrics? And what is that opinion?
They're not dangerous. They're not like
Let's move more on to his emotional status. Do you have an opinion on Logan's emotional status?
He's a pretty sad kid, depressed.
What is the basis of this conclusion that he's sad?
Well, I committed suicide. He's had falling out with a friend.
Did you and Logan discuss ways to cope and or funnel this sadness? What were some ways you discussed? Let's see. So music, what? And music was what type? How was this going to actually help funnel?
Give it to happiness.
Okay, we'll move on. Do you have an opinion as of Jordan and Logan right now.
Yeah.
What is that opinion?
They had a potential falling out with each other. What happens?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Cross.
This is gonna be fun.
Doctor, you agree that to fully evaluate any situation, one should investigate all of the facts and all that, correct? And to that, doctor, you would also agree that it's advisable to understand all perspectives of the situation, isn't that true? Yep. Now, before testifying today, you met with the defendant in local market, right? Today? Before testifying today, you speak to local market multiple times. Dr. Flogler, you read the song lyrics that Logan posted, didn't you? The opinions you have formed in this case are based only upon your interactions with the defendant and your reading of his lyrics, correct? Dr. Flogler, you never spoke with the victim, Jordan, did you? And you have had no direct...
Lack of personal knowledge to that?
He knows whether he spoke to him or not, overruled.
You've had no direct interactions with the victim, so you have only heard and considered the defendant's perspective and not that as a victim, Jordan Stowe, correct? Yes. Dr. Flogler, you have no personal observation on what Jordan perceived when he read Logan's.
Objection, badgering?
Overruled, yeah. Cross. Ideas back.
Dr. Flogler, it is true that Logan admitted to you that his latest music is more, and I quote, violent than it used to be, correct? Yeah. And Dr. Flogler, when you met with the defendant the second time, you, and I'll quote you, really tried to dig in to see how the defendant was impacted by losing Jordan as a friend. That is what you did, right? You asked the defendant about Jordan, and the defendant appeared angry when discussing Jordan. That's correct, Dr. Flogler, isn't it? Now, Dr. Flogler, you found the defendant in Logan Bartram's lyrics. In Logan Bartram's lyrics, in the defendant's song "Take You Down," you said that they are, quote, questionable, but did not, in your opinion, refer to a specific person or establish a credible threat of any kind, correct? Sure. And yet, in the direct examination that you just gave, you said that they do not refer to anybody, correct? Sure. So there's a discrepancy there, correct?
Well, being that his...
Dr. Flogler, did you say in your statement that they may refer to Jordan?
I said it's possible, but I don't think so.
You said it is possible. Over here, you said that they do not. Is that correct? It is not.
Objection, he's allowed to give an opinion, and...
He's allowed to give an opinion, but it's cross-examination, overruled.
So you said now, in your statement, when your lawyer was directly examining you, that was contradictory to what you said in your written statement, correct? Thank you. Dr. Flogler, you also found the defendant Logan Bartram's lyrics may come off as, quote, alarming, right? Questionable and alarming. Those are the words you used, right? Now, Doctor, you read all the lyrics of the defendant's songs, right? Yes. And you read the song "But I Won't," in which the defendant wrote, and I quote, "Hey boss, you need to be demoted. Click, click, boom, watch you fade away. Land your jolt, pay for what you've done. Feel the night cut, feel it burn, feel it bleed." Those are the defendant's lyrics, isn't that correct? Yeah. And you did say that those come off as, and again I quote you, violent, questionable, and alarming, correct?
Yes. Objection, has an answer on that one?
Overruled.
Dr. Flogler, you also read the song "We All Know You Did It," in which the defendant wrote, "I know who you think you are, you're the boss and the king." And you also stated today Logan stated today that the word boss refers to Jordan, correct?
Objection, hearsay on that one?
Sustained, rephrase the question.
Today, Logan said that the word boss refers to Jordan, correct?
Again, hearsay, you didn't rephrase the question on that one.
No, we didn't. Sustained. That's it the same way you get when we say it.
You never spoke to Jordan, for that matter, any other student at Sunshine High School, so you don't know who the term boss and king refer to, correct?
Correct.
And yet today, you found out that that term refers to Jordan, correct?
Again, hearsay.
Sustained.
So
Mr. Doctor, you didn't really fully investigate whether a specific person is referred to before today, correct? You only took Logan's word, which today you changed to find out whether or not it referred to a specific person, correct?
Again, hearsay, objection?
Overruled.
Yes, only 1.6%.
Still not the truth.
In the real world, we're real.
And Dr. Flavio, you have seen instances of bullying and harassment online, and especially on Facebook, right?
Yes.
You also admit, Dr. Flavio, that it is possible that the defendant actually did direct his lyrics at George Stowe, as we've already confirmed today, correct? What?
Yeah.
And lastly, you didn't render an opinion of the photos that the defendant posted to draw attention to his lyrics, even though these are clearly proof of the case, did you? Great question. You didn't render an opinion of the photos that the defendant posted to draw attention to his lyrics, even though they are clearly crucial to the case.
Irrelevant? They aren't crucial. Well, they're crucial to the rest, but not during his meetings with.
Thank you for the closing argument. Overruled. No, go ahead. Next question. I mean, I finish that question and then ask the next question.
Okay. You didn't render an opinion of the photos that the defendant posted to draw attention to his lyrics, even though they are crucial to the case, correct? No further questions.
Thank you. You may step down. Closing argument. State. You may proceed.
Good afternoon, members of the jury. I am Yossi Friedman. Together with my colleagues, I represent the state of Florida in the state's case to hold the defendants, Goldberg, responsible for his unlawful acts of cyber stalking and over cyber harassment in violation of Florida statutes. In my colleague's opening statement, he promised you that we would call 3 witnesses to testify as to the defendant's guilt. Each witness testified as we explained, and we've established the following facts beyond dispute. 1. Logan Bartram maliciously and repeatedly engaged in cyber stalking by publishing communications that established a credible threat toward the victim, Jordan Stowe. And 2. Logan Bartram posted photos of Jordan Stowe with the intent to cause Jordan substantial emotional distress. Let's review the evidence. Jordan was considered one of the most popular and accepted students at school and was always known to be a very trustworthy student. Jordan told you how the defendant took photographs of him and promised to keep these photos private. The defendant admits that fact. Jordan and the defendant each told you how as Jordan became popular, the defendant resented Jordan and grew angered and hurt that Jordan's life was no longer centered around the defendant. The defendant posted the photograph designed for 2 purposes. First, to harass and destroy Jordan's success. The defendant succeeded. Jordan was removed as president of the student body. Jordan was also suspended from the track team. And Jordan's ability to go to a well-rounded university was now in doubt. Second, the defendant posted these photographs that he promised not to do with another purpose. And that purpose, with the help of the defendant's musical lyrics, was to emotionally damage Jordan. Members of the jury, you have heard and seen these lyrics today. The defendant acknowledges that those lyrics are not like the lyrics he wrote while he was happier. While the defendant would have you believe that he wrote that they are only influenced by his musical hero, Queen Bee Jones, as you use your common sense, you will understand that they are threatening and use code words about Jordan, such as taking him down. The fact that Jordan suffered substantial emotional distress was that. Jordan told you what happened. He told you how he had to get a protective order to restrain the defendant from doing further harm. He told you he has to go to therapy to help manage his emotional state. He has told you that of the impact the defendant's actions have had on his family's life. Jordan is a very credible witness, and his testimony should be regarded to the highest standard. And members of the jury, you heard from Alex, the former track team captain. He too should be regarded as a credible witness because he has nothing to gain by lying, considering he has already graduated from Sunshine High School, and nothing he says would change his future except for the worst, except for lying. Alex told you of his interactions with the defendant and of his concern for Jordan's well-being. And members of the jury, you also met Dr. Taylor Kelly, an expert in child psychology and a very accomplished school psychologist. He has testified as an expert witness in approximately 10 trials. Dr. Kelly also told you of Jordan's emotional state, also of his efforts to assist the defendant, which the defendant rejected. Dr. Kelly informed you of the impact cyberbullying and cyber harassment has on the lives of students. And he told you how he even sought help from the defendant's music teacher to help the defendant. Now let's review what you heard from the defendant, actually what he read from the paper. In the defendant's opening statement, they stated that Logan accidentally posted the photos, but in the direct, Logan admitted that he posted them knowingly. The defendant does not deny writing the lyrics, that he even admits are an aspect of his emotional state, but the defendant doesn't want to be held accountable for his actions, and therefore offered you a defense that he does, and therefore offered you a defense that he did not do it, but rather that even though the lyrics describe events in his life and use nicknames of people with whom he went to school with, those lyrics were not threatening nor about anybody. That does not make sense. The defendant has already shown his dislike towards Alex by previously punching Alex in the face. The defendant has also admitted that he has a grudge against Jordan and is most likely that he would do anything to get to Jordan. It is an important principle in our society that people be held accountable for their actions, and it seems that Logan doesn't believe these same laws should apply to himself. The defense also presented Frankie Tanner, Logan's music tutor. Mr. Tanner certainly shared a bond with Logan, and while Mr. Tanner talks about the defendant's musical gifts, he does not and cannot deny the dark nature of the lyrics the defendant posted. He does not deny that the defendant wrote very different lyrics after he became angered by Jordan. Finally, the defense presented Dr. Sawyer Flagler, an expert psychologist. But Dr. Flagler was not an observant of the events, as was Dr. Kelly. And while he has come to an opinion to favor his client, that opinion is based on a one-sided view of what he learned from the defendant. Dr. Flagler has no real connection to this case, and he never spoke to Jordan or anyone else who observed the defendant in action. In the end, all the defendant's witnesses' testimonies amount to just excuses. Members of the jury, we very much appreciate the solemn responsibility you have and your attention to the evidence. Cyber harassment and bullying must be stopped. You can only do so by holding people who engage in these serious violations of the law accountable for their actions. We ask that you find the defendant guilty as charged.
Defense.
Your Honor, members of the jury, my name is Goldberg, and on behalf of my client, Logan Barsham, and my co-counsel, we would like to thank you for the time you've given today that you've given to listen to the testimony. Shortly, the judge will relate to you the jury instructions on the two offenses on which the state has accused my client, Logan Barsham, of committing. We ask that you find that the state has not met its burden on proving either charge, which is to prove beyond and to the exclusion of any reasonable doubt. And because the state has not met its burden, we request a return verdict of not guilty. Now let's talk about those crimes in which the state has allegedly accused my client of doing. Cyberstalking. In order to find, there are two elements for cyberstalking. The first, in order to find guilt, you need to find that Logan willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly cyberstalked Jordan. To find this, you need to find that Logan engaged in a course of conduct to communicate or guess this. He has not one shred of proof. The person who wrote the lyrics, my client Logan, specifically told you that the lyrics are not about him, but rather were influenced. Dr. Kelly says that Jordan goes to visit him to get help. But going to a counselor, does that establish substantial emotional distress? Meanwhile, our expert witness, Dr. Flagler, who has met with Logan more than twice or 3 times, determined that Logan did not break the lyrics of his songs towards Jordan. He also told you how music could be a form of therapy, and that it was being used as therapy for Logan. Now let's talk about the second crime the state has charged Logan on, photo cyber harassment. In order to render a verdict of guilt, you'll need to find that Logan published a compromising image of Jordan Stowe on an internet website for no legitimate purpose, and with the intent of causing substantial emotional distress to Jordan Stowe. That Jordan Stowe did not consent to the photo being published, and Jordan Stowe had a reasonable expectation that the image remain private. First, for the images that Logan posted compromising? We say that they were not. Those images were actual photographs of Jordan in actual acts in which Jordan was engaged. Jordan lifted the beer, Jordan was clinging to Twister, they were not compromising, they were real. And as my co-counsel, Mr. Weiss, told you in his opening statement, this is surely a case about the failure of Jordan Stowe taking responsibility for his own actions. You have heard Logan testify today that he posted the pictures because he wanted more people to go to his Facebook page and listen to his music. There's not one bit of evidence in this case that Logan posted the pictures in order to cause substantial emotional distress to Jordan. We submit to you that this shows the photos served a legitimate purpose on that website as well. At the beginning of this case, my co-counsel asked you to imagine that you're flying on a plane, and the pilot makes an announcement saying, I think I can land this plane. You would be scared for your life. You would want to know all the details and all the facts about that plane and about the pilot before trusting that pilot. Then you hear another announcement 5 minutes later, the pilot says, I'm 82% sure I landed the plane. You would still be scared for your life, because you're not 100% sure. And your life is on the line as well. So today, Logan's life is on the line. And if you are not 100% sure that the state landed its plane,
the burden of proof is not 100%.
The jurors will blah, 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 blah. The jurors will receive the instruction as to what the burden is. And I don't think there's supposed to be objections during closing, is there? Nope. No? Right now.
Objection on the objection.
Then I object to your objection and his objection. Go ahead.
And I object to your objection and my objection.
well, today, Logan's life is on the line. And if you're not 100% sure that Logan, that the state, that if the state landed its plane or not, it is your job, and actually you must find my client not guilty. We submit that the state has not built on facts necessary to a smooth landing, but rather on just a speculation or a guess or any other adjective you want to come up with. We therefore request a return verdict of not guilty, and I'm just going to leave you 3 words here. Send Logan home. Thank you for your time.
That's right. Your rebuttal from the state. No.
This right now?
Is he only going to go when you read the jury instruction? Okay, we're leaving by now. Page 48. It has nothing, no harm, no foul. Go ahead. It's a new legal term.
The defense said that,
Isn't it the one that made the closing argument supposed to redo?
Actually, they can split it between the 2 different parties if we're doing it strictly by the rules. I mean, by the rules that we practice.
Okay.
We're not.
the defense said that we didn't prove that George Jordan Stowe wasn't harassed by Logan. But they did say in their direct of Logan Bartram and in our cross-examination of Logan Bartram that he willingly put on the songs that have the lyrics that you remember, like the cutting and stabbing and bleeding, and then I'm asking the jury, do you think that was malicious? His words that he said, and the witness even said that the boss was referring to Jordan, and in our cross-examination. So that's it. Thank you.
I'd like to object that my client Logan Bartram in his testimony, he said.
You can't object to. That's the great thing about close is that it goes without any response. You sort of hung on your.
Just pointing out, who did say that?
He actually did. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, to prove crime of stalking by cyber stalking, the state must prove the following 2 elements beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, that Logan Bartram willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly cyber stalked Jordan Stowe, and Logan Bartram made a credible threat to Jordan Stowe. And Logan, there's 2 elements, why are there 3 here? 3, okay. Cyber stalk means to engage in a course of conduct, to communicate, or to cause to be communicated, words, images, or language by or through the use of electronic communication directed at a specific person, causing substantial emotional distress to that person and serving no legitimate purpose. Credible threat means a verbal or nonverbal threat or a combination of the two, including threats delivered by electronic communication or implied by a pattern of conduct, which places the person who is the target of the threat in a reasonable fear for his or her safety, and which is made with the apparent ability to carry out the, it says treat, but I assume it means threat, to cause such harm. It is not necessary for the state to prove that the person making the threat had the actual intent to carry out the threat. To prove the crime of photo cyber harassment, the state must prove the following elements beyond a reasonable doubt. Logan Bertram published a compromising image of Jordan Stowe on the internet website for no legitimate purpose and with the intent of causing substantial emotional distress to Jordan Stowe. Jordan Stowe did not consent to the image being published, and Jordan Stowe had a reasonable expectation that the image would remain private. Image includes, but is not limited to, any photograph, picture, motion picture, film, video, or representation. Photo cyber harassment means to publish compromising images of a person that contains or conveys the personal identification information of the depicted person to an internet website without the depicted person's consent and for no legitimate purpose, with the intent of causing substantial emotional distress to the depicted person. The defendant has entered a plea of not guilty. This means you must presume or believe the defendant is innocent. The presumption stays with the defendant as to each material allegation in the information through each stage of the trial unless it has been overcome by the evidence to the exclusion of and beyond a reasonable doubt. To overcome the defendant's presumption of innocence, the state has the burden of proving the crime with which the defendant was committed, and the defendant is the person who committed the crime. The defendant is not required to present evidence or prove anything. Whenever the words reasonable doubt are used, you must consider the following. A reasonable doubt is not a mere possible doubt, a speculative, imaginary, or forced doubt. Such a doubt must not influence you to return a verdict of not guilty if you have an abiding conviction of guilt. On the other hand, if, after carefully considering, comparing, and weighing all the evidence, there is not an abiding conviction of guilt, or if having a conviction it is one which is not stable, but one which wavers and vacillates, then the charge is not proved beyond every reasonable doubt, and you must find the defendant not guilty because the doubt is reasonable. It is to the evidence introduced in this trial and to it alone that you are to look for that proof. A reasonable doubt as to the guilt of the defendant may arise from the evidence, conflict in the evidence, or lack of evidence. If you have reasonable doubt, you should find the defendant not guilty. If you have no reasonable doubt, you should find the defendant guilty.
And now we wait. Now you wait for them to deliver.
Where are they going to, they can do it. Okay.
Have the jurors reached a verdict?
Is it a majority or is it unanimous?
No, yeah.
We win! They're deadlocked.
They're deadlocked.
Free to go.
Yeah.
I had to go back.
No, I put us up in a hotel.
It must be dismissed. Let's go home. Good luck if you're making good Quiet, please.
The parents of the kids, we believe, we're the ones saying not guilty. The ones who are not related, thus working the school, are saying guilty.
Interesting.
Not true.
And it's also
The parents of, are they of students who are defense lawyers or prosecutors?
Or you split along those lines. That's what I. Yeah, it's a tough jury when they're a little biased.
We're 12 Jews together.
Little biased. 12 Jews decide. No.
12 angry Jews.
Yeah, do a vote. Do majority.
I don't say innocent, I say it's a mistrial. Because the jurors did not reach a verdict, it's a mistrial.
Do it all over again.
Okay.
You're on.
Sit down, please, so we can give you a bit of critique. And Greg, you want to come up too?
Let's see, so just a couple things. I thought you guys, I mean, obviously all very prepared a lot. Like, I mean, you know, I was throwing a couple of objections to each team just to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit, and then I stopped because you guys are doing a great job on your own. I want to, the openings and the closings to me in a criminal jury trial are the most important thing. Because like anything else in life, the first 10 seconds and the last 10 seconds, they're all anybody hears. Everything in the middle is gobbledygook. And the jury forgets most of it. Your openings were great. The state used the word betrayal and focused on that. And the defense took that word and said it's not that, and here's what it is. So that was right on point. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Because now what you're doing is you're actually thinking on your feet. You're not just reading your lines. The closings, and I really enjoyed the state's closing. But I want to focus on the defense because they did something that is exactly what you're supposed to do. And that is, and I told them this already, you took the theme from the opening and you used it in closing. So they may have heard nothing of the fact. They could have been asleep and on their phones the whole time. But they remembered, because when you said, you heard during opening, Mr. Weiss said, imagine you're on a plane, and the pilot says, I think we're going to land. Well, that's like what the state did here. They might have given you some evidence, but they didn't give you enough. And that's what you heard in an opening statement. So now they're like, oh yeah, I did hear that. Yeah, I guess they didn't give me enough, not guilty. And that's, I'm guessing, one of the things that they hung on to. I will tell you that as a prosecutor, I have used that exact example in over 100 trials, but in the other way, to confound the defense and screw them up. And when you hear an example that's not the facts, that allows you to relate to something you know, it makes you more comfortable with the facts you're hearing from that side. So I was very proud of you guys for doing that. I thought that was right on point, exactly what you should be doing. Because don't forget, you don't have to prove anything. Just, they didn't prove their case. That's all you have to do. And this is a very difficult case for them to win because of the facts as they were. But I thought you guys did a great job with what you had. You did a great job with your witnesses, getting out all the necessary facts. And your cross of their expert, beautiful. Thank you. You had points. You got him to say exactly what you wanted. He answered every question the way you wanted him to. And when he didn't, you came back and you said it louder with more emphasis, telling the jury this is an important question, and you're going to try to lie to get your way out of it? No. So great job on the cross there. Thank you. Otherwise, I give you guys all an A.
What is he giving us?
I'm not giving the grade.
What are you giving?
Well,
I'm speak to
So I
Mr.
met
Weinkle.
Judge Hague. We, in 9th grade, we went to high school together, and we both became lawyers, and he was a prosecutor for many years and has served as a judge for, what, 20 years now?
Yes, be 20 years coming up, yeah.
Big hand.
When you think about it, whether, I mean, I know you, it looked like you had fun, and there was a lot of passion in what you were doing, which is, applies to everything in life, is what you need to have passion, number one. But what is a jury trial? Essentially, it's basic communication of a thought to another person, whether it be a jury or a judge. You're trying to communicate your beliefs to them in an as effective, well, that's a horrible sentence, in as an effective method as possible. Sometimes with these jury with these trials, these practice things, they throw a lot of stuff in there that really have nothing to do with your goal of getting the party to believe that they're guilty or not guilty. And you have to be careful not to get lost in the woods when you're trying to go from here to here. You don't want to end up here someplace talking about something that really doesn't have to do with what you're trying to convince the people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you all did. I was extremely impressed. You did better than a lot of the young prosecutors and public defenders that appear in front of me. Their first time out, and that's your preparation and your passion showed. I think that sometimes some people believe, and I guess I kind of did this to some extent, that you think about what you want your closing argument to be. That's the first thing you do in your case. What do I have and what can I put on the table that I can then use for my closing argument? And then how do I get here? So that's how you use your questions on how to get here. And you prepare your cross-examination the same way. You're trying to, and I agree with counsel that you did a great job of cross-examination, where if you have statements like this, you can formulate your questions so that you know exactly, they have no choice but to answer bum, 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 bum. And so you get them to answer that way, and you can use that. You don't ask that final question because you want to be able to use it to you're setting up your closing argument. So you don't want to show all your hands during the course of the direct and cross. You want to sort of build a foundation so that the gotcha comes in the closing argument. Make sense? Yeah. So again, whether you practice law or you never practice law, there are certain communication skills that you can learn from this exercise. One is, and I know it's tough because of, things are scripted, but you're trying to convince these people of something. I would have turned the podium and faced them. Who cares what because I'm not the one making the decision. Make eye contact with them while you're going. Make as much eye contact as possible. And this is not practical, but this is just something that one of the best trial attorneys ever, Abe Laser, taught me when we were at a seminar up in Gainesville. I sat there and I read my opening statement. He goes, "Did you write your opening statement?" And I said, "Yeah, I have it right here." And he said, "Okay, give it to me." He took it away from me and he said, "Here, write it on this." So I sat there and I wrote it on this. And he said, "Is this it?" He gave me another piece of paper. He said, "Now write it on this." So I'm writing real small, trying to get everything in. And then he goes, "Now write it on this." And and he looks at it, he goes, "Is this your closing argument?" He said, "Yes." And he goes, "Now do your closing argument." The whole idea being, you're not reading from it if you can possibly do it. It's more convincing to make eye contact and to do it without notes. Not practical in this setting, but just, again, this is for the purposes of communication skills later on. Eye contact. Sometimes, and I was saying this earlier, sometimes, instead of just asking every question like this, you did this, right? You did this, correct? You did this, correct? You did this, correct? You did this, correct? All of a sudden it becomes a drone. I mean, a lot of people use correct on cross-examination. On direct examination, you want to stick to who, what, why, when, how. Those are pretty safe questions. On cross-examination, you want to put words in their mouth, but you want to vary it. Isn't it true that you did X? You did Y, didn't you? Isn't it, vary it so that it's not the same thing over and over again. You're getting the same answers because you're the one that's actually testifying. So you want to put words in their mouth, but keep it interesting by not having it be the same thing over and over again. Sometimes pause. And voice inflection. All of a sudden the jurors are leaning forward saying, "This must be important. What do they have to say?" And even though you're not raising your voice, there's dead silence. We're hanging on every word you say. So it's important to change voice inflection. It's important to change cadence. And as a form of communication, it is not only important to know what you say or are going to say, but very important to listen, because you can catch a person saying something and then sort of go off on a tangent because they said the wrong thing. I mean, this is real life trial stuff. They say something that all of a sudden they're just kind of going out on a one-way bridge until they fall into the water. But it's very important to listen as well. But I was extremely impressed. I didn't know what to expect. I thought you all did an excellent job. You communicated well. You obviously worked hard at preparing for this. And it was a pleasure to preside over this. I really enjoyed it.
I know you're all in a rush, and I wanted to know everything, and I want a picture of all of you with me in front of the seal here. But I just
before
also...
that, Mr. Weinkle, first of all, Judge Hague, thank you so
No problem, my
much.
pleasure.
Really, really, really appreciate it. And Mr. Lisbon, it was amazing, but we really want to thank you so much for...
I want to tell you, thank you so much.
Here, you could be in charge of taking pictures and all that.
He's still recording.
It means a lot to me. Your sons are